Hi friends. So today's topic you might have seen by now. Why did we choose this topic for discussion today? Why is this required? Means in which sectors CDCS qualification is required? In which sectors? Why did we choose this? The basic concept is many have the misconception that CDCS is required only in banking. It's not that. Or for that matter, trade finance is required only in banking. This is again a misconception. Trade finance means what? Trade finance. Trade finance. Trade is done by whom? Does bank do any trade? To be frank, does bank do any trade? Bank doesn't do any trade. Bank doesn't do any trade finance. Bank actually manages the trade finance of others. Others do the trade, isn't it? Your customers do the trade. You only manage it. Right? That's the only thing. So, the point over here is trade finance or CDCS. Where is it required? Let's see one by one, isn't it? Firstly, where is CDCS required? The trade finance, the core sector where the qualification is essential, specifically for professionals managing and processing international trade transactions, right? This is simple. In trade finance department, wherever it may be, let it be in your bank, let it be in some private company, let it be with the consultant, let it be with some auditing firm, anything, anywhere, this will be required, right? Trade finance will be required, so CDCS will be required. Banking operations professionals, so in various banking departments, particularly those dealing in foreign exchange desks, LCs, operations, bill negotiations and trade payments, benefit greatly from this certification, isn't it? See, Forex means not retail Forex. Those who are dealing in retail Forex will not require CDCS at all. If they want to grow ahead in corporate Forex, then they'll require CDCS. Retail Forex doesn't require that much. Okay. So this is specifically from the banking sector we are talking. Okay, banking department, banking sector. But there are others also. Means, see, banking is agreed. Even I agree. Banking is almost 70-80% we require it in banking. That's for sure. But when I gave CDCS, my fellow men who are giving CDCS with me, at that time, it was not in the room. Means you can do it, give it anywhere. At that time, we had to go to Mumbai. I think so, Twin Towers, at that time the exam was there. So my colleagues who gave the CDCS at that time were not from banking. Few of them were from Reliance, few of them were from Infosys, few of them were from some other companies. One of them was from some auditing firm. So it's not compulsory. See, what happens is everyone needs to have this domain knowledge, whoever is working in this field. Agreed. Again, I agree to this point, 80% banking. That's for sure. 80% is banking, remaining are just the domain experts, right? So major multinational banks often prefer this certification. So all the MNC banks, see, you go in any MNC bank, any multinational bank, they'll definitely ask for this qualification. Yesterday only I was seeing some requirement from one of the MNC. That was not this bank. It was actually a commodity company. Okay, dealing in commodities, not at all in banking. They required CDCS professional. So it's not required. I can't give you the name. It's a big name. But I can see, I won't open out the name over here. Okay. But there, you just check out on Google. Type on Google anywhere or any search engine, you'll get it. Okay. So international trade and export-import operations, the one who is dealing in these operations, let that person be in any department. Okay, any industry, that person will definitely require this, right? Staff involved in the operational aspects of global trade, such as document checking, compliance with international rules. Okay, so some of you might argue, sir, document checking is done in banks. Why? Why document checking is done only in banks? Doesn't the customer have a department where the document checkings are done? Isn't it? It can be done that way also. Many customers have their own trade finance departments. Okay, and settling the trade payments benefit greatly from these qualifications. Okay. So definitely, when I was working with one of the MNC banks, one of the clients used to call me, one of the clients, and he used to tell me, sir, you leave this job, come to me, I'll pay you 3 to 4 times more than this, whatever these guys are paying you, this bank is paying you. Such is the demand for CDCS and professional trade finance professionals. Okay, very huge demand because the transactions are huge. Look at the transaction amount. You check in your bank only, you check the international trade finance transaction amount. It starts with around $80,000 to $90,000 per transaction. And many customers are there who do roughly almost 8 to 10 transactions per day. Normal MSME I am talking of. I am not talking of big guys. MSMEs I am talking. Micro and small medium enterprises. They handle 8 to 10 transactions per day. So can't they afford a guy who's CDCS? Isn't it? Isn't it? Simple. Compliance and risk department, this also requires, because compliance department, now again somebody will argue, compliance means banking. No, compliance is everywhere. Every big company has to do the compliance. Okay. So compliance and risk management also everywhere, because after all funds are for everyone. Okay. Then they require the qualification provides in-depth knowledge of the international rules, blah blah blah, you know this now. So checking the frauds, because using this knowledge only of CDCS, you can check the frauds. Okay, how? Suppose if some LC, I had one situation earlier when I was working with one of the MNC banks. There was an LC which was inland LC. It was inland LC. There was an inland LC from Mumbai, and it was the beneficiary was in Nasik. So at that time what happened, there was a pressure from the supplier, importer side, means that issuers, importer side or buyer side, that kindly do it fast. Means LC was issued one day before and I was getting a pressure issued in Mumbai. And I got the pressure second day morning in one of the banks. So the problem is that at that time I saw the LC, what was going on given in approximately it was 60-70% okay, but then something clicked me, means the Incoterms part and these things, because regular banker doesn't give, the one who's well versed in LC will not issue such LCs with some wrong Incoterms or something like this. Immediately we checked it, it was a fraud LC. Immediately IBA reported it to IBA and IBA published it throughout India. Okay, so these things, see, fraud also you can detect if you have knowledge, right? Import-export businesses. So all these companies who are involved in import-export, means all these star houses, all these EOUs, export-oriented units, these also require CDCS a lot. Okay, staff involved in the management and handling of documentation of international shipments, such as commercial documents, transport documents, bill of lading, insurance documents, can use this qualification, isn't it? All these star houses, why are they called as star houses? Because they do export to that extent. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star and 5 stars. Okay, in every country they are there. It's not only in Bharat, they are in all the countries. Okay, shipping and logistics. So this department, these companies also, there are big companies like Maersk, right? Then Hapag. So these are the big companies who handle these shipments on a large scale. So don't they require it? There are commodity companies, as I told you earlier, there was yesterday a requirement from one of the commodity companies who handles containers, oil containers to a huge extent. So each oil container is for huge lakhs of dollars. So can't they afford a CDCS with few $1,000, isn't it? Shipping and logistics, professionals involved in supply chains, documentation like bill of lading, Incoterms benefits from in-depth understanding of the documentary requirements that underpin the trade transactions, right? So kindly understand the point over here is CDCS is not only required in banks, it is required in many other departments also. Even IT companies, as I gave you the example, Infosys, TCS, all the world companies. Many of my friends are working in world companies like KPMG and all this. Okay. Consulting and auditing. Here I was coming to consulting and auditing. See, big companies. There are big companies. Okay. In trade finance, consulting in and international and internal audit roles within financial institutions. So all these KPMGs, you call it, or the golden four or big four, what we call them, right? These companies, these are all handling Ernst & Young. I've seen my friends working in Ernst & Young and many others also. Of course, they are in teaching, but then also. So it's in various departments it's required. You call out any big firm. There are few friends working in Deloitte also, having CDCS. Okay. So any field it is required, because nowadays all the banks are focusing on trade finance, because trade is growing hugely throughout the world. It's not only in our country. Throughout the world it's growing, and we require specialists for them, right? For that we have to have the specialist. So in trade finance, consulting and internal audit roles with financial institutions value CDCS to demonstrate a high level of subject matter expertise and understanding of the best practices. So how does the CDCS help you? Having a CDCS qualification enhances career prospects for the roles such as documentary credit specialist, right? So you'll get, see, these are all the names which you'll be getting. Okay. You can apply for any of these roles specifically. Okay. Documentary credit specialist officer, trade finance manager or trade services manager. Now kindly understand, even if you are in sales in trade finance, many of have the misconception that if I am in sales, why do I require trade finance? See, you may not require completely. Why do I require CDCS? You may not require completely. But whenever you are talking to the client, okay, for some deal, if the client understands that you don't understand the basics of trade, then why will the client prefer you? Isn't it? It's after all one-to-one communication which matters in the deals, right? So export-import compliance officer, LC analyst, operations head, trade finance, relationship manager, right? Corporate trade advising. So all these things, everywhere here, you definitely require the trade finance, right? And CDCS. So these are certain departments or certain companies where CDCS is required. To be frank, CDCS is required in each and every field now. Whoever is dealing in import and export. Okay. You want to enhance your skills in trade finance, so follow our YouTube channel. So this YouTube channel is CDCS Adda247. Just go on Google and type CDCS training or CDCS Adda247 on YouTube, Google, anywhere. You'll get it immediately. Okay, CDCS Adda247. Okay, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon. We are having many videos over here. Okay, related to your all round, means they are related to the discrepancies also, trade finance problems also, everywhere. All these things. And if you want to, if you are going for CDCS exam, or not even going for CDCS exam, you want to enhance your skills, kindly purchase the paid batches of CDCS. We have all the video recordings, okay, of all UCP, ISBP, URR, EUCP and ISP 98. Plus there are doubt sessions. Plus you have any query, you can directly call on the call centers and the details given. So subscribe to it, subscribe to the channel, purchase the paid batches and grow more, okay, in trade finance. Okay.